Spoiler warning! Spoiler warning! Spoiler warning!
Welcome back guys, it's time to go balls deep into Demon Slayer. The first season of the anime has concluded, the Demon Slayer movie for part 2 is announced, but the manga is still ongoing and my theories and explanations are never ending. This time around I'm going to break down the secret and science behind the Nichiren Blade, like how and why only these specific blades can kill the demons, and most importantly I'll be explaining the concept of the red Nichiren Blade and what it really signifies. I'm also going to answer some questions that's been popping up on our other videos regarding chapter 175 and 176 on how pretty much half the remaining pillars obtain the red colored Nichiren Blade. But before I start, I do have to let you in on our sponsors, Anime Ryo. If you guys are in need of some cool anime shirts, hoodies or even accessories, then check them out. With the discount code ABD Squad you can get yourself 10% off everything. The link is in the description and comment section below. With that, let's cue the intro.
You don't fuck with neck, bro.
Okay, like always, I have to add a spoiler disclaimer, as if it wasn't obvious, this video will contain some spoilers for anime watchers. You guys really got to read the manga so you lot can enjoy my analysis, theory and breakdowns. But either way, if you don't mind being spoiled a little bit, then keep watching. Alright, so before I begin to explain the science of the Nichiren Blade and how it works, you lot need to understand the basics of the Nichiren Blade. Most of you guys who watches us on a regular basis should already know all of this by now. If you watch The Real Reason Tanjiro Has a Black Nichirin Sword, I pretty much covered all of the core information about the Nichiren Blades. So if you haven't watched it, then make sure you do before or after this video. But for now, I'll quickly summarize a few key points we should know by now. Kimetsu Muzan, the original demon lord, the big boss, the big papa, yes you know, the Michael Jackson looking ass character. Yeah, his only weakness is the sun. Nothing else can kill him. Likewise, all of Muzan's underling demon can only be killed with the power of the sun. Due to this, human beings, specifically demon slayers, to garner and use the power of the sun against the demons, they had to science the shit out of it, and for their time all they could do is use materials with the trait that could absorb and hold the sun's energy. In this case it was the red crimson ore found on Sunlight Mountain. With these materials they forged weapons such as blades. However, there is one extra special trait about these blades, which is that it would react and change colors depending on its user. These colors hold a lot of value as it also facilitates and corresponds with the user's breath style, allowing them to execute their technique precisely. Like Tomioka has a blue blade corresponding with his water style, Zenitsu has a yellow blade corresponding with his thunder style, and so on and so forth. Okay, with that, I hope you guys are up to date on what we should know about the Nichiren Blade. But once again, if you need a more thorough explanation, then go watch our other videos. Now finally, I'm going to explain how the blades actually work. In our last video on how strong Muzan really is, I explained the reason why decapitation doesn't work on him, going over the concept of demon energy and the sun's energy, and to eliminate the demon's energy, the sun's energy has to be greater. To fully understand the Nichiren Blade, we have to first understand this concept of unnatural demon energy and the natural energy of the sun. When Kubutsuji Muzan first became a demon, he entered into a world of the supernatural and broke all bonds of the natural world, hence garnering unnatural energy. And to feed this unnatural energy, he has to kill and eat human beings. As of yet, it is indicated that unlike Tamayo and Yushiro, just feeding on the blood of humans isn't enough for Muzan. His hunger is like no other demon, hence forcing him to kill as many humans as his hunger requires. The act of killing and drinking human blood is not just taboo in many theological concepts, but also a means to enter a dark realm of power. This is why we see a lot of stories and folklores where human blood sacrifice, for either power or as an offering to dark spirits. We also have a concept of immortality like the Philosopher's Stone in Full Metal Alchemist and other series, but there is always a price to be paid of human blood. This concept is also kinda seen with the Pillar Men and Dio in the JoJo series. So generally speaking, supernatural abilities usually need a source of power, but coming back to Muzan and the concept of his power of unnatural energy. As I mentioned before, when he is exposed to a greater natural energy of the sun, the power that keeps Muzan alive gets cancelled out, hence he will die. So with that explanation, you guys should get why Muzan's greatest weakness is the sun, of having unnatural energy versus natural energy, dark versus light, you know, that typical sense of stuff. However, on a side note, this does pose a question on how did Nezuko survive against the sun, even though she has unnatural energy running through her, keeping her alive. Well, for that, you guys need to wait and watch my next video on it, as I'll be breaking it down to the ground on how did Nezuko actually survive against the sun. So let's move on to the Nichiren Blade. As I mentioned earlier, the Nichiren Blades are very good conductors of the sun's energy. Basically, they are the best material to absorb, hold and transmit this natural energy. However, not all Nichiren Blades are the same. As displayed by the various colors of the blades, the sun's absorption level would be different, and likewise the transmission level would also be different. You guys are probably confused right about now. Absorption, transmission, what is anime balls they talking about? Well, to simply put it, the Nichiren Blades has an intake value, absorption, and output value, transmission of the sun's energy, and it's different for every user. However, just to clarify, the color itself does not determine the blade's intake output value, but it's just a reflection of the change in the atomic structure of the blades. Yes, that's right, the atomic structure of the blades. And the atomic structure is what determines the level of intake and output of the sun's energy. Now, what changes the blade's atomic structure is the energy of its holder. Yes, due to being such a good conductor, it absorbs not only the sun's energy, but also the energy that is let out by the wielder and its surroundings, which ultimately changes the structure of the Nichiren material that determines the level of absorption and transmission of the sun's energy, subsequently also changing the color of the blade. I hope I didn't lose any of you guys there. Now, there are two states to the blade. The first state is the state of absorption. When the blade is not being used in battle, it will be in this state. The blade's atomic structure and color will depend on the energy that the user gives out. For example, Tanjiro's blade turned black due to his aura. The second state, the state of transmission, is the state when the blade is being used in battle. Under optimum condition, it will be in this state. Again, the blade's atomic structure and color will depend on its user's energy, but as the user would be in an offensive fighting state, the energy will also correspond. For the highest output value, the blade should be pure red. This concept is actually backed up by chapter 113, when Tanjiro has an ancestral flashback. We see a woman, more likely the wife of Sumiyoshi or possibly his daughter. This woman talks about the breath of the sun user Yorichi's Nichirin Blade. She says that when he's not in battle, it's obsidian black, but when he is in battle, it goes red, proving there is a change of state. This also happened with Tanjiro. In the same chapter, as his sword is black, but with the help of Nezuko, it lit up and became a red sword. However, for most of the Demon Slayers, their blades remain in the first state, and with that state, they also end up fighting. The second state of the Nichiren Blade is usually red, as this will give the optimum transmission value, and only happens with exceptional Demon Slayers like Yorichi. However, like the Demon Slayer mark, the energy of the second state of the blade can spread to the other blades. We see this in chapter 175 with Tokito when he was able to unlock the second state to his blade and change his white blade into the red blade, and later spread the energy of his red blade to the others, ultimately giving Sanemi and Gyome a red Nichiren blade to actually deal real damage to Kokushibo. Now, before I go into more detail on the second state of the red tinged blade, let me explain the first state and go over the most powerful Nichiren blade in this state. In this state, the blade is in kind of a standby mode. However, it can still be used to fight with, and depending on the breath style the user uses, the blade will be effective in transmitting enough of the sun's energy. It's not really a coincidence that Giyu has a blue blade, Gyome has a grey blade, Mitsuri has a pink blade, like I can go on. All of these Demon Slayers' blade coincide with their breath style. Even Kyojuru Rengoku, who's the flame pillar, has a red blade representing his breath style. Although his blade isn't fully covered in red, this is a clear distinction between a red state 1 blade and a red state 2 blade. Now the most important effect of the Nichiren blade in this state is the level of absorption it has on the sun's energy. To find out who has the strongest level of absorption, all we need to do is to look at a color spectrum. The darker the color is, the more energy it will absorb. Hence the first state, the state of absorption, Tanjiro has the strongest blade and Muichiro, the mist pillar, has the weakest blade as his blade is white. Tanjiro's black blade will absorb and hold more of the sun's energy than Muichiro's white blade. However, in the second state, the state of transmission, when it comes to transmitting the sun's energy, Tanjiro's base state of his blade would actually be the weakest as it will hold onto the energy rather than transferring it, whilst Muichiro's blade would be the strongest as it would have the highest level of transmission. But since Muichiro's base state doesn't absorb much energy, its power output should be equal to Tanjiro's sword. Now the color that reflects the highest transmission of the sun's energy would be a color like the sun, and that is the color red. For you guys who are saying no anime balls deep, it's actually white or yellow or orange. Listen, yeah, this is Japan, and as in their flag, the sun is red. Moreover, the specific wavelength of the sun that cancels out the demon energy is supposedly red. So what do we get from all of this? Well, mostly the Nichiren blade has two states, and the strongest demon slayer who came very close to defeating Muzan, Yorichi, had a black blade which became red as he fought. This change in state is seen with Tanjiro's black blade with the help of Nezuko's blood demon art, and it's also happened with the mist pillar Tokito, who is also the descendant of the first breath user Kokushibo. When Tokito's blade turned red, the effect of it spreading to others seemed very similar on how the demon mark spreaded. I'm pretty sure everything happened due to the will of fire being passed down from Yorichi to the Kamado family, Tanjiro and Nezuko fulfilling the prophecy by standing against the demons. This activated the powers of the first breath user, and from Tanjiro it resonated to the others. But just a quick disclaimer, this is just my understanding and there is still a lot of unknowns as Koyoharu Gotake hasn't really revealed much as of yet, and until she does, this is just a theory. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and managed to understand everything. It was a bit different from my usual videos. If you want more content like it, then let us know in the comment section below. Smash that like button, ding that notification bell, subscribe if you haven't. Until then, I'll catch you guys till next time.